The guy who directed Terminator 2 wants to kill you.
Basically.
Because you have the audacity to question whether or not global warming is occurring the way that they say it's occurring.
You mean it's not?
I do mean that it's not. Yes.
So what's going on with the global warming thing now? You mean that one minute they're telling us that all the stuff we're doing is bad for the earth and, the temperature's going to rise, but what's happening now?
Not that much. That's why we don't understand. I mean, by now we were supposed to have ice caps melted. We were supposed to be drowning in our own stupidity.
All the polar bears were supposed to be dead.
The polar bears are supposed to be dead.
We got out there and told everybody we cleaned up our act, right?
Right. Well, did we? Is that what happened? Because I just know that these projections that were originally made in the 70s were supposed to tell us that we were supposed to be underwater already. And I'm just waiting. When is this going to happen? When is the destruction going to come?
Well, that's why Glenn Beck is going out there telling everybody that we won.
Yeah.
Because of getting the message out to the people, we did the global warming thing and we beat it. So there you go.
Interesting. Do you see some similarities between the Glenn Beck fiasco and the 2008 Obama campaign in the sense that they both seem to just be waving banners and be shallow, and there seems to be no real political discussion at these events?
That's what it's all about.
It's good entertainment. These guys are just actors, and that's what the people got to see through.
Well said.
Yep.
Well said.
All puppets.
So for everybody who don't know, right now there's a rock and roll show happening here at the Savage Rock School. That was the sound of a refrigerator opening. And,
and crashing into a microphone.
Yes. But just so you don't know...
Clap for a second.
What's that?
What is happening?
Like I said, I'm on stage right now.
All right.
All right.
Well, in that case, Britt, we're just going to leave you in the spirit of Glenn Beck. We're going to have to tell you, get off our phone!
Get off our phone!
And when that note, we just hung up on Britt in true Glenn Beck spirit.
All right, and since we somehow managed to bring it back around, now we will play for you the clip that we were originally going to play with you before we were rudely interrupted by this phone call. And here we go.
Glenn Beck 9/11.
Here we go.
To be real honest with you, and I don't think anybody on talk radio, I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to ever say this out loud, but I wonder if I'm the only one that feels this way. It took me about a year to start hating the 9/11 victims' families. It took me about a year. And I had such compassion for them, and I really, I wanted to help them, and I was behind, let's give them money, let's get started, all of this stuff. And I really didn't, all the 3,000 victims' families, I don't hate all of them. I hate probably about 10 of them. But when I see, 9/11 victim family, on television or whatever, I'm just like, oh, shut up. I'm so sick of them because they're always complaining, and we did our best for them. And it's only about 10. But the second thought that I had when I saw these people and they had to shut down the Astrodome and lock it down, I thought, I didn't think I could hate victims faster than the 9/11 victims. These guys, when you see, and it's really sad, we're not hearing anything about Mississippi. We're not hearing anything about Alabama. We're hearing about the victims in New Orleans. This is a 90,000 square mile disaster site. New Orleans is 181 square miles. 108.2% of the disaster area is New Orleans. And that's all we're hearing about are the people in New Orleans. Those are the only ones that we're seeing on television are the scumbags. Again, and it's not all of the people in New Orleans. Most of the people in New Orleans got out. It's just a small percentage of those who were left in New Orleans or who decided to stay in New Orleans, and they're getting all of the attention. It's exactly like the 9/11 victims' families. There's about 10 of them that are spoiling it for everybody.
Oh my God!
Spoiling it for everybody.
It's spoiling it for everyone. It's real hard out there in the radio world, and sometimes I think you just need to talk out your fucking ass.
You do. If you don't have any information or facts to supply people, you have to still inflame them somehow.
It's tough. Oh my God! You know what? I can't believe it's taken me this long to hate Glenn Beck. Almost one full year.
I also feel somewhat guilty for, we did 7 podcasts before this, and we didn't address this charlatan. It needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at someone like Alex Jones, who is obviously a patriot,
Right.
obviously on the right side of things for the most part. He's beholden, or he's hesitant to attack this pig man because of the amount of people who call themselves both Alex Jones listeners and Glenn Beck supporters.
Right.
But guess what?
There's a weird mix.
Yeah, there's an intertwinement there in the sense that many people who would listen to what Alex Jones has to say often.
and because Glenn, I feel like because Glenn Beck is obviously way more mainstream.
Sure.
That they
won't get as much flack for listening to Glenn Beck.
Right, and like if Alex Jones comes out and talks straight shit on Glenn Beck, they will drop Alex Jones for Glenn Beck
because television told them to.
Right.
And Alex Jones has pointed out a lot himself how he'll have somebody on his show, and then curiously enough, within 2 or 3 weeks, they'll be on Glenn Beck's show with a slightly different twist.
Right.
Alex Jones is hesitant to criticize this person because...
we are not.
But we are not, because we don't have the same problem. We don't have a listener base that is half retarded and half in the Glenn Beck pocket. So we're going to take advantage of that liberty by calling this tool bag out. He's a tool bag, and he's welcome to come to Save the World Radio anytime and discuss with us why he has misinformed and misled the American people to the extent that he has.
Yeah, and you know what? And to speak on the clip that we just listened to, I just want to fucking throw up in his fucking face for I mean
9/11 victims should shut up and stop whining. Hurricane Katrina victims are scumbags.
Like,
I'm sorry, you are a racist.
Yes.
You hate black people, you hate the United States Constitution, and you hate goodness.
You are a hateful son of a bitch. And
rotten bag of groceries. Rotten bag of groceries. And we're not falling for it. And that's why it's so important right now. I have lost a good amount of so-called Facebook friends and other social medium friends because I'm not willing to pull punches when it comes to this pig man. I'm going to tell the truth about him, and if that disturbs you, you are not in touch with reality.
And you know what? Now okay, let's just say that you're a loyal Glenn Beck listener, okay? You've been a loyal Glenn Beck listener for quite some time. You turn on your radio and you hear this come out of his mouth. Because you know what the thing is that, like, let's say you're a loyal Glenn Beck listener with some sense. You're the part of the population that also listens to Alex Jones or Save the World Radio or, whatever your cup of tea is.
Absolutely.
And, you pop on your Glenn Beck on the radio or whatever, and all of a sudden he says this shit. Like, you don't drop him immediately. Like,
exactly.
You don't switch
Where
the
are
channel.
Your critical thinking skills?
You turn him back on the next day. You turn him back on the next day.
When someone doesn't have the testicular fortitude to address the issue of 9/11, you drop them like a hot potato. When someone tries to turn you against the few 9/11 victims' families who had the courage to not take a bribe, not take a several $million check to never talk about the death of their loved ones again, you sold out.
I agree.
Okay? Those people are American heroes. Those people who didn't take a government bribe to speak about themselves. Those whiners are the only people trying to save this goddamned republic.
The whiners.
Yeah. This man needs to be exposed. We're doing our part. We are doing our patriotic duty here.
It's just unbelievable to me that, it would be almost like if there was some injustice on a small scale. Let's not even talk about the Republic. You and I work in the same place. We don't, but if we did,
sure.
And there was some injustice going on, and you were directly like